Okay, injury update. Walt will not be out there today. He will not go this week. And then everybody else, you guys will get the report, kind of varying degrees, who's working back from some things, and just take it day by day. Great week. Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Going to play a really good football team. This team's good. I know they've lost a couple in a row here to some really good teams. A lot of really good players. A lot of respect for Todd Bowles, how he runs his whole team, what they do on defense. Offensively, they're very creative. Baker's a really good player. They got a bunch of good players, so big time challenge.
With the uncertainty around Baker Mayfield's injury, how complicated does that make things heading into the practice?
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, he's one of the toughest players in the entire NFL. So, if he can play, I'm sure he'll play. But you got to have two plans ready. You know what I mean? You really do, because they are different players. Is their scheme going to change a lot? Probably not a ton. But you definitely have to be ready for Baker, and the plan would be a touch different if we're playing Teddy.
What are the biggest differences between Teddy and Baker?
Just their play style.
Nick had mentioned you guys go way back, you and Bridgewater.
Teddy B, yeah, we drafted him when I was in 2014, I guess. He was there. 14 played, 15 played, went to the playoffs. And then 16, he got hurt right before the start of regular season. But elite leadership traits. Guys love him. Loves to play ball. Prepares. I had a really good time being around him.
Todd Bowles has obviously been around for a while. How much have you studied his scheme?
A lot. Yeah, ever since I've been in the league, and he's cool because. You can tell, I would use the term curious. He studies, he really does, because he's adapted as he's been, every stop that he's been at. You see mid-year, he'll change things, has his staples, but he's very creative. He understands the run game really well, how to attack it. He understands protections really well, how to attack them. He puts his players in good spots. He's one of the best out there, in my opinion.
The Buccaneers are near the top of the league in terms of blitz percentages. Bowles is pretty creative when it comes to adding pressure to the offense. How difficult does that make game planning when you know they're going to bring it?
Yeah, and then what he does, too, is because he knows your protection rules, he's going to exploit them. So you got to have some change-ups. You got to know when things are coming. He shows the ability to get free runners on everybody. So we're going to have to live through some of those downs. We're going to have to be on it. I mean, as far as communication on the road, making sure we're on the right people. And then Jacoby's going to have to know when he's hot, when he's warm, and when he's not, and it's hard to do that, but that's going to be a big part of the game plan, because he's going to generate free runners. So we know that's a known. You can't take horrific plays. Those plays can't be horrific plays. He gets you on a third down. A punt's not the worst thing in the world there. A sack, fumble, touchdown is. So we got to be on that.
How do you plan to fill the void of Walt not playing?
Oh, pick up the slack.
But there's always a lot of talk about what Buddha could bring to the table with his versatility. But what does JT's versatility bring to the defense?
Kind of, they're a little bit different how we deploy him, but he's a guy that can kind of do it all from his spot. I mean, with range, coverage ability, blitz ability, being able to tackle. We use him accordingly to try to accentuate his skill set and get him in good spots to affect the game. Going back to Todd, he does that with 31. Winfield's a really good player, and how he uses them, puts him in really good spots to affect the game. Sign of good coaching.
Have you been pleased with how this team's responded to the change in the travel schedule when you guys?
Yeah. They love it.
Greg Dortch was able to make a couple plays on Sunday with the Buccaneers bringing so much pressure, and the short game probably having to be an emphasis this week. Do you think this week could be another opportunity for him to showcase what he can do?
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, we're just when you put it all together, you got to look how he fits in, because he's a guy that we can, get the ball in his hands, and he's shown he can make some plays. So with how they play. They do a good job of mixing man pressure, zone pressure, zero pressure. So there's at times there'll be some space. We got to make sure we find the space. At times we're going to have to win a bunch of one-on-ones because they put a body on a body. We need everybody to win, not just Greg.
How do you handle that? Do you bring in an extra offensive lineman or a tight end to help kind of block that pressure? Do you try to catch them in the...
No, you don't want to bring in an extra O-lineman on third down. You guys probably wouldn't like that, would you? Neither would I. No, you gotta, whether you're in 5-man, 6-man, 7-man pro, I think the main thing is everybody being on the same page, having answers within the play to pick up certain things. And when you don't have answers on the page to pick up certain things, Jacoby's got to, know that. If these guys blitz, I am hot, and where is the ball going to go? And with that being said, those guys that are in routes, they have to understand that as well, and they got to win, and you got to win quick because the ball is going to have to get out.